Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Pax and Stupidus, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukener certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.
Welcome back to Loket. The wind is dropping slightly. The sun is out there with a vengeance. People are coming in. We have got Group B coming up now for the timed practice, a half-hour session. My name's Barry Nutley. Bradley Hicks will be joining me in the commentary box very shortly. He's off testing out some equipment and talking to one or two of the teams. Meanwhile, I can carry the show. Bradley has just returned, getting his water bottle sorted, getting his earpiece in, and he'll be doing our roving reporter and rider interview jobs during the end of the day. Jeva Kuzma, who did that job so very well for us in recent seasons, is now resident in Norway. And if you're at home listening to this, Jeva, we miss you very much on site, but we fully understand you're up there in your new home in Norway, and we wish you all the very best. Keep up the good work on the social media and all the work you're doing with WSC, and we're thinking of you. There we have the riders in Group B practice. Varric, Van Verven, Stefan Vyers, Kuban, Mulders, Van Lukener looking to make amends really for a poor showing in race 2 in Markelo. Stuart Brown, one of the two drivers who has ridden here before, the other one being Daniel Williamson, who will be appearing in this group as well, riding 1-1-1 with the young Frenchman Rodolphe Le Breton. There is Daniel Williamson, number 16 in the lineup. Of course, at this moment in time, no positions have been decided. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely, and also looking further down the order there, rounding out the 18 riders is the number 723 of Jason Van Dale and Miroslav Zatlukal. Of course, Jason Van Dale, who is the first person in history to do a backflip on a sidecar cross machine. Is that something you'd fancy doing, Barry?
It is something I thought would happen one day, for sure, because it was inevitable, but it's a very, very difficult thing to get right. I've said to you in the past, and you'll have seen from watching it, that takeoff is crucial to keep the thing stable in the air. You cannot rectify a takeoff error mid-flight with an outfit the way you can a solo.
No, you absolutely can't.
You're showing me something on there. Ah, Jeva. Yes.
You're more than welcome. Gert van Verven and Ben van den Bogart, the number 11 crew there. And in the Group A practice, you mentioned the Italian TM engine, and that can be found within the WSP chassis of the number 11 there. And it's the only one in the field. Gert van Verven and Ben van den Bogart, who, well, last time we saw that particular crew, Gert van Verven was unfortunately in the back of an ambulance and heading towards the nearest hospital. But we spoke to him yesterday, Barry, and what did he tell you?
I'm sorry, I was
he was away with it.
I was away with it, yeah.
He was away with it.
I was thinking of, oh goodness me, that just shows on that downhill drop how easy it is to get it wrong. And the number 7 there, just to give, that was Johnny Pedere, the young Frenchman who was flicked out there, and that was all to do with getting it wrong on takeoff.
How ironic that you mention it, that once you cannot rectify a mistake at takeoff mid-flight, and that is a perfect.
Here we go. It's going sideways.
He didn't get it straight at the end of the lip there, and unfortunately, poor old Johnny Pedere got thrown off the back.
Now, what was the question you asked me before all that happened?
Gert van Verven and Ben van den Bogart, you spoke to Gert yesterday. What did he tell you about Markelo and how he's feeling for this weekend?
He said he's put it completely out of his mind. I said, because, you know, is that something that, given your stage of your career and all the rest of it, and the family and the business, is it something that bothers you? Not at all, he said. If you thought about accidents and incidents, you wouldn't race again. You just get on and do it, you know. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was somewhere else completely while you were going.
It's no problem. yeah, that is one of the fascinating things about not just sidecar cross competitors, but all motorsport competitors in general. The ability to take accidents, such as the one as Gert van Verven, and just compartmentalise it in your mind and just shun it away.
Well, there's another aspect to it as well, that everyone expects at some point to have a big one. They hope they don't, but it's inevitable that you do have a big one. And when it does happen, and you get up eventually and walk away, you think, that's mine done.
That's it.
It's happened.
And then you got more confidence because it's out of the way.
Yeah, in many ways, it works to the positive. Lucas Czerny and Bastian Chopin on the Java there, the Czech-built Java engines and bikes have been around for such a long time at road racing, at motocross, at street level. They pioneered sidecar outfits here in the Czech Republic when sidecar outfits were just a means of family transport, as we did in the UK. Immediately after the Second World War, people could not afford cars, and if they had a motorbike and then they started a family, they put a sidecar on to take the children out, and then it became a child-adult sidecar so that mother and the baby could ride, and then it was a double adult, and they just got bigger and bigger. So families use sidecar outfits as a means of transport, and the Java company that Lucas Czerny represents so admirably was certainly a pioneer and a major force in sidecar outfits here in the Czech Republic. There, Gert van Verven, looking at him, and well, Ben van den Boogaard, he said also, is inspirational, and if you can't win races with Ben van den Boogaard, you ain't going to win them with anyone.
That's fair play. You can't argue that kind of honesty from Gert van Verven. But certainly in the early stages of this free practice, they are looking silky smooth. Well, there is that first turn that they will hit as soon as they leave the starting gate through these rolling jumps for this uphill right-hander. The first half of this track is so challenging, it would seem.
What we've seen from Gert van Verven and Ben van den Boogaard this season, both at home and in the opening world round, is a new level of confidence from the big Dutchman that I've not seen before, and I think that has come with Ben. Definitely.
I'll agree with you.
We've seen him start the season like you wouldn't believe.
Just as you mentioned that, Van Verven, Van den Boogaard go top of the timing sheet with a 2-minute 4.394. There still is time out there on the circuit. Of course, the fastest time from the Group A free practice session with a 2-minute flat coming the way of Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens. Third place in the world last year, but Gert van Verven, Ben van den Boogaard looking as smooth and confident as ever. Van Lukener and Bax still yet to set a quick time, down in 12th place. Runners up for the previous two seasons is Van Lukener and Bax, of course, world champion in 2018 when he was running the number 9 plate. Brown and Chamberlain, you mentioned Stuart Brown earlier on the 888 machine, down in 15th, just ahead of Vaj and Chico. Stuart Brown raced, of course, back here in 2001 on our last encounter here in Loket.
Adrian Petter there, Nicky De Bruyne riding the number 20, 17th. Behind Vax and Chico, Czech crew, local Czech crew. As you say, Stuart Brown has come here with an open mind. In fact, he's come into the season with an open mind. Openly admitted to me that World Championship is his choice of event. Given the selection between British and World, he would do the World all day long. And if he can dovetail the British as well, then so be it. And that keeps him race fit and bike fit. But certainly, when we saw how he finished off the season in 2021, and you were there on that day with triple victories, that was impressive.
2019, that would have been, yeah. He didn't make an appearance last year through one reason or another.
That's right.
Not quite sure of, but yeah, Rudersburg, the 14th and final GP of 2019. Nobody really knew what way he went. He qualified fastest and took a 1-1 victory.
Do you know, it's incredible, Bradley, that the COVID era and 2 years away virtually has just robbed so many people of so many things and memories, and our minds seem to have condensed and closed that vacuum up. It's almost as though those years didn't exist.
Absolutely. I was just on about that the other day, in fact, with a friend of mine, and we were saying that from the end of 2019 to the end of 2021 is 2 years of nothing. It's
just gone.
Yeah, it's just gone.
The end result is that we're all 2 years older. You know, at your time of life, that's not important. At my time of life, it's vital.
I don't know what you're talking about. You've got plenty of life left. I was saying to you yesterday, 10 more years you've got in this paddock.
I'd like to think you're right. I hope everyone's got 10 more years in this paddock.
That is very true. Well, some of the young guns coming up through the national championships, I've noticed while writing the reviews for the FIM Sidecarcross website. This sport can only get better and better. Certainly, earlier in the A group, of course, we had Kilian and Yvan Prunier, young French crew. They're coming strong as well.
Yeah, there is some money in that lineup. There's no doubt about that.
One more crew that I'm really looking forward to making an impact on the world scene. I believe they're still only 15 years of age. It's the Latvian brothers of the Liabardis pairing. That will be something special.
We didn't say, although we interviewed him this morning, but Marvin van Luken has had knee surgery over the winter and still has ongoing problems. Having said that, bang on cue. In comes the fastest lap, 2:01.563. That is astonishing. Our live timing needs to catch up because it hasn't. Our information on screen, though, is pretty topical. Marvin van Luken has had knee surgery and develops a lot of water on the knee after every race weekend. And it's the left knee, it's the knee which is outward from the sidecar. It's the one that, as he said to me, you know as well as I do, when you go round a corner, round the sidecar, your right knee is bent so tightly because you need to get off the bike and tuck yourself down. My problem is I cannot bend the knee. So therefore he's restricted in his movement.
It's quite a substantial problem when you can't bend the knee when you need to, really.
Yes.
But, well, they're certainly finding ways around it, it would seem. Van Luken and Bax, as you mentioned, a 2:01.563 on top. Kurt Barrick and Larry Kunas, currently second in the world after their fantastic results in Markelo. They are in third.
Another pair that have started the season really, really strongly. And that is good to see. There, Van Luken and Robbie Bax, of course, younger brother of Etienne Bax. In the early years, they rode together. And then Etienne said as he grew in stature, and Robbie didn't, the weight differential just didn't work. So he felt he needed someone slightly heavier at the time. That's Van Lagermaat, 99, isn't it?
Certainly is Van der Lagermaat, yep. And Rob Devane doing a good job there on the number 99.
Yeah, good colours, easily picked out, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Van der Lagermaat from another Sidecarcross racing family. The organisers of the Dutch initiative Kids and Sidecars, Gata, is here this weekend, and that program has developed so many champions. Veldman came through it, Van Luken came through it, Hermans came through it. The Kids and Sidecars initiative puts children on outfits from the age of 8 onwards, and there are 3 sizes of outfit. There's little, middle and bigger before you get to the full adult size. So it really is quite an academy for bringing new talent along.
It certainly would seem the case. I can tell you what, I can hear it in our headsets, Barry. The wind is starting to pick up once more.
The wind is, yep. Very strong wind, heavy storm last night. Torrential rain and heavy wind, and I saw the organisers with a tractor dragging away the wreckage of several tents. to the tent graveyard down the bottom of the hill.
I think there was a few videos uploaded to the WSC Facebook page, and if you haven't seen the extent of the damage that last night's storm caused, please go take a look for yourself, and it will really put into perspective how hard these guys have worked to from last night to this morning to get this place back up and ready for the GP.
There, Lucas Cherney. Lucas Cherney riding number 7. Oh, it's Cuban, I beg your pardon. Lucas Cherney riding number 6.
Yeah, last year riding
used
number
to use
25.
He
He
yeah.
did, yeah,
Yeah.
used to use 25. But Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin, they're on their factory Java. I'll tell you what, the jumps look mighty impressive on the screen, but it still does not do it justice as Gert van Verve and Ben van den Boogaard find themselves on the inside of that particular corner.
I hope Cherney keeps the Java initiative going. I mean, they've taken on pretty much the responsibility of the development of the Java engine for Sidecarcross. They're in the minority. They're the only people who use it at the highest level. But it certainly is a great thing to see and have a variety of engines. We've got TM with Gert van Verven on board. We've got the Zabel 2-stroke used by at least 40% of the paddock. We've then got the Husqvarna. We've got it in AMS form. And it's good to see that the other manufacturers are getting involved. 2016, those of you who've been around the sport a long time will remember that Etienne Bax had a sponsorship initiative with Yamaha using a YZ450 motocross solo bike, which was underpowered. He said the problem with the Japanese engines is that the casings are thin. There is no extra room for machining or upsizing the engine, so you're stuck with a 450. That in itself, he said, wasn't necessarily a problem, but when he got the Yamaha, when he got the bits, it was getting towards the end of the season. He needed to get something sorted and get going, and he experimented for several weeks and races with the Yamaha, and then when he decided to go back to Zabel, he'd forgotten how to ride it.
Really?
So the season was gone.
Yeah.
So he said that was a wasted year. Not entirely the fault of Yamaha, but the fact that he didn't have the time to develop the bike, and it would have meant redesigning the crankcases because you simply couldn't make them any bigger. Interesting technical stuff.
Certainly is. Went straight over my head.
I don't believe that for a minute. Who's that we're looking at?
Gert van Verve and Ben van den Boogaard again, the number 11 crew. Whereabouts are they on the live time, and we'll have a quick look for you as they make their way past the number 88 of Martin Gislavsky and Jan Hanelich. The local crew, Gert van Verve and Ben van den Boogaard, 4th place at the present moment, just ahead of a certain Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Lebreton. Well, in 2001, Daniel Willemsen finished in 2nd place overall in that particular meeting, which I believe was the 8th of that year.
Yeah, he's 4th, confirmed by the caption rolling through the bottom. Van Verven, Van den Boogaard 4th, ahead of Willemsen, Lebreton. Now that's good. Daniel Willemsen as well, nursing an injury, as you pointed out to me, had a pre-season bad one.
He did. He missed out on Markelo due to this reason. He broken tib and fib. But yeah, it was on the left leg, I believe. And so yeah, we saw him yesterday, and there's a little bit of muscle wastage, it would seem.
Absolutely.
Like comparable to his right calf.
And a slight distortion to the tibia fibula.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed to point that out. But it's inevitable that when you break both bones, sometimes you lose a little bit of formation in the leg because things move. Simple as that.
Well, that is something you have a lot more experience than myself. You know, I've yet to break a bone. I don't want to. I don't want to jinx it there, but either way, we saw Daniel Willemsen, as you say, in the paddock in Markelo, promoting his book, The Cannibal. I haven't had a chance to go through it or read it, but it's on sale online and in stores.
The name implies that he eats people, so he certainly seems to eat passengers.
I'll leave that with you.
He's a lovely bloke. I mean, I was talking with Alan, the FIM technical steward, over the weekend, and we both have the utmost respect for what Daniel Willemsen has achieved in his career. He's set the bar really, really high, as indeed as the man you're looking at now, Stuart Brown, riding number 888. What a career he has had and is still having.
By rights, this should be his last World Championship season. Of course, whether he can apply for special dispensation to carry on or not.
He already has it.
He has.
I spoke to the FIM about that very subject, and when it comes to being over the magic age barrier of 50, provided you are finishing top 10 world, they grant you another year.
Well, 4th place in the world in 2019 certainly did his hopes pretty good.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Stuart Brown, one of the stalwarts, and when you're riding as well as he's riding, then why would you want to stop, and why should you even consider stopping someone? There he is then, the young Frenchman, Rodolphe Le Breton, proud to be riding alongside Daniel Willemsen, and has done a great job, I have to say, since jumping in there last season.
Well, they were running right at the front of the races that we had held in Trammell in the 3rd GP of 4 last year, and were right in contention all the way to the end.
Did you see the way Le Breton used that jump to help? There was no physical effort in getting to the position.
Just to shift himself across.
He jumped, and in midair he moved himself across. That was a brilliant technique, and that is something that top-line passengers develop. They use the track to help their movement.
Stuart Brown and Josh Chamberlain put themselves inside the top 5 now, ahead of Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Le Breton. But there's still 2:01.563 is the benchmark set by Van Lukenen and Bax on their 4th lap of this Group B practice session. Fabian Hoffman and Marius Strauss round out the top 10 ahead of Morders and Van der Wiel, with Jason Van Dale and Miroslav Zadlukal, the Belgian and the Czech, in 12th place. Here we are then, a replay of Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Le Breton. Let's have a look at Rodolphe's technique. That was
incredible.
Perfect.
That was millimetre perfect, wasn't it?
It was.
And when he landed, he was just at the point when Daniel needed to get the power on. So 3 things coincided there. The bike was into the right-hander. The passenger's weight was at its maximum just when the drive came in. That was inch perfect. Clever.
Very clever. Well, there is Marvin Van Lukenen and Robbie Bax leading the way in this timed practice session thus far. With 6.5 minutes remaining. The gap between himself and Justin Kuban, Johnny Badair, is 2.1 seconds. Of course, Johnny Badair parting company with the Sidecarcross outfit in the early stages of this outing.
Van Lukenen then. Robbie Bax in their distinctive and very familiar blue. I love the crews that stay with the same livery.
It makes our job a lot easier.
It makes our job a lot easier. You're right, sure. Certainly bang on there.
Oh, Gert van Verven and Ben van den Bogart go into 2nd place now. Just 1.2 behind Van Lukenen and Bax. And there we're looking at the number 20 of Adrian Petter and Nicky de Bruyne, the German and the Belgian, on their WSP framed Zabel engined outfit. As we turn our attention back to the number 7 of Kuban and Badair. Still, a 2:03.675 is their fastest lap. That was set on the 4th lap.
Yeah, Gert going well. He is only about a second off Marvin Van Lukenen's time. And now Kuban and Johnny Badair. Number 7 crew. They've clicked together well, and apart from that little incident where Johnny Badair was flicked out, but that again was purely due to the crooked position of the outfit when it took off. Simple as that. And it only gets worse. And if that had been a longer jump, they would have been broadside on when they landed.
Yeah, and it would have flicked them round.
That would have been nasty.
There is the aforementioned Rodolphe Lebreton.
Good boy.
Daniel Willemsen, 10 times a world champion. And, well, there aren't really that too many superlatives more that can be used to describe Daniel Willemsen. Oh, have we got a problem here? For the number 7 crew of Justin Kuban and Johnny Badair, it would certainly seem that way. A hand up in the air from Johnny Badair as they came over that jump. With 4 minutes remaining, it would seem that third place at the present moment is their best effort.
Well, they're on a fast one now. The problem is they've got a couple of back markers ahead of them. Tom van der Lagermaat being the first they'll encounter. He's just, there he is. They're already past him though and away. So Marvin van Luken, Robbie Baxworth showing the sidecar wheel up on that banking. That is great stuff.
Look at the wind picking up now. We can hear it in our headsets there, Barry. You can see the dust being blown almost horizontal at the top of that jump there. Oh, was that a slight mistake there from Van Luken and Bax?
You just watch his left knee. When we see him on a left-hander, is he able to bend the knee? I saw him getting dressed this morning and he was wearing knee braces on both knees. I said, are we in for a game of robot wars? He said, well, not exactly, but something like that. Bastien Chopin. Lucas Cherney.
Just checking out the situation on the timing screen there. Just in the background to the left-hand side, we caught a glimpse of Daniel Willemsen. Daniel Willemsen still there in 5th place, going ever so slightly quicker than Stuart Brown and Josh Chamberlain. Is around 0.2 of a second in that particular battle for the top 5.
He's done, I mean, Daniel Willemsen is only 3 seconds off Marvin van Luken's time. And as you say, the way we saw him riding and crammling was incredible. He was so determined, but the pace took its toll in the end. And whilst he kept it going for 7 or 8 laps, towards the end, I think he began to tire, which, given his lack of time on the bike, is understandable. Van Luken then Robbie Bax.
Now, heading into this next left-hander, we may catch a glimpse to see whether he can bend that knee.
He's got it pretty bent at the moment.
I'm sure that will take its toll throughout the weekend, however, for Marvin van Luken.
And of course, he's grown taller. You know, so there's more knee bending to do.
Number 72 there of Frank Mulders and Eva van der Wiel. Just conversing with their respective pit crew.
Van Luken is on it, but
trying to improve on that 2-minute 1.563 that they set on their 6th lap, ever so slightly quicker than what they did on lap 4 of a 2-minute 1.7. Kuban and Badair still there in 3rd place ahead of Barrick and Kunas, with Willemsen and Lebreton in 5th. Then it's the first of the British crews in this particular practice session. Stuart Brown and Josh Chamberlain in 6th place ahead of Tom van der Lagermaat, Rob Devane. Behind van der Lagermaat, Devane, we find Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin. Stefan Vyers, Loet van der Putten, they were very, very impressive in Markelo there. They come into this weekend 6th in the championship and just 4 points behind
the terrain could be not more difficult. I mean, there's no way could it different, shall I say. Couldn't be more different. This is hard-packed, steep drops, whereas, you know, Markelo, by contrast, was, yes, through the trees, but very much a one-track race by the end of the day, wasn't it?
So, yeah, it certainly was, especially, as you mentioned, through the trees there. But they did a great job indeed. As I say, 6th in the championship on 28 points as they come into this weekend. Of course, Etienne Bax and Andre Chermak, 2 victories means they come into this weekend on 50 points, 42 points for Varick and Kunas, with Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard on 35. And I tell you what, there is not a whole lot of points separating 3rd place all the way down to Vyers and Van der Putten in 6th. Just 7 points covers 4 riders. There is Ben van den Bogart with the 4 stars underneath his name there, representing his 4 championships. Of course, the most recent one in 2018 with Marvin van Lukenen. Well, that is the conclusion then, it would seem, of the Group B timed practice session here, with Van Lukenen and Bax topping the timesheets ahead of Van Verven and Van den Bogart, with Justin Kuban, Johnny Badair in 3rd, despite that slide incident in the opening stages.
You can hear the wind getting up. There, Cherney and Chopin leaving. Stuart Brown parked up. He'll have been introducing Josh Chamberlain to the wonders of Loket. The crowd's beginning to come in here. You can hear the wind on the effects microphone around the circuit. The position's still going through, but let me just remind you, top of the pile in this first pre-qualifying, Marvin van Lukenen, 2nd, mightily impressive, Gert van Verven, Ben van den Bogart, Justin Kuban, Johnny Badair, and we're looking at them now. 3rd fastest, Kuban, Badair, impressive indeed.
2nd place, Gert van Verven, Ben van den Bogart. This will boost his confidence no end. 2-minute 2.776 for the number 11 crew.
And top of the pile, Marvin van Lukenen, Robbie Bax, knee injury or not, and there you can see that knee getting worked really well, dragged over the seat. Top of the pile then, the wind gets up, and that's it, confirmed. Van Lukenen, Van Verven, Kuban, we've just seen those 3, Varick, Willemsen and Stuart Brown.
Stuart Brown, as you say, in 6th, ahead of Van der Lagemaa and Devane, Cherney, Vyers, and Fabian Hoffmann, Marius Strauss, the Swiss pairing, rounding out the top 10 in this particular outing.
Are they a left-hand chair? I don't know.
I would guess so. We'll have to have a look in the paddock in the meantime, but 11th down to 18th, Molders, Bukal, Van Dale, Petter, Visseling, Vach, Pech and Zislavsky.
I'll leave all the hard names to you.
I appreciate that, thank you very much. I'm sure your Czech pronunciations are a whole lot better than mine, but it's okay, I don't mind being embarrassed by them.
There it is then, the crowd coming in, taking up their vantage positions. Group B, all done and dusted, and the next time you hear us, we will be waxing lyrical about some quads, I guess.
We'll see you there.
Willemsen is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukenen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.